Salam everyone. So how much does it really cost to live in Medina in 2025 as a family of four? You might say 15,000, 20,000, 30,000. A lot of people think that you need a lot of money to live in Medina, but in reality, probably less than what you think. So in this video, we're gonna go ahead and break down a good realistic budget. We're talking about rent, transportation, groceries, utilities, and so on. And that way you can get a really nice clear picture of how much it will actually cost you to live in Medina in 2025. Let's get it. Starting off with rent, which is usually the biggest expense. For a 2 to 3 bedroom apartment in a good neighborhood, you'll be paying around 2,000 to 2,500 Saudi riyals per month, which is equivalent to 530 to 660 USD. Some areas like Al-Qaswa, Shuraibat, or Qurban are popular among expat families because they're close to the haram, schools, and shops. If you want to know more good neighborhoods in Medina, download our Medina neighborhood guide in the description below. A really good pro tip on rent. Usually landlords here in Medina require 6 months upfront or a year upfront. If you choose to pay a full year, or if you are able to pay a full year's worth of upfront rent, the landlord will usually give you a good discount. You'll save a few thousand riyals. So moving on to groceries, it really depends on where you shop. There are a lot of places that have affordable groceries, and then some are very expensive. So assuming that you will be doing most of the cooking at home, the cost of groceries per month for a family of 4 is around 2,000 to 2,800 riyals, which is equivalent to 530 to 700 USD. Pro tip about groceries, guys. If you want to avoid keeping your grocery bills low, I would avoid purchasing any brand name items and any items imported directly from the West. Another grocery pro tip, I would highly recommend shopping at Souk al-Khudar, which is the farmers market. It is opened every single day in Medina, and you can save so much on groceries. Things like household items, essentials, and products like cleaning supplies, toiletries, clothing, shoes, really anything random like this will add up to about 500 riyals a month, which is equivalent to 130 USD per month. Pro tip about household items, I would avoid purchasing any brand name items, and I would shop at the 5 riyals and below stores, especially for cleaning supplies that you would normally use at home. Pro tip for diapers, I would always check Al-Nahdi pharmacy. They casually have deals, buy one get one BOGO deals. You can usually find these deals online, and then you can just walk into any Nahdi pharmacy and claim those deals. Electricity can spike in the summer, especially with AC running. Add mobile services and Wi-Fi, and you're looking at 600 to 700 Saudi riyals total per month, which is around 185 USD per month. You'll also want to budget for things we call extras. These include things like ice cream for the kids, eating out at a restaurant, and if your kids are like ours, lots of electric scooter rides, indoor play space. This can all add up to about 300 to 500 riyals a month. Pro tip about eating out. If you choose to eat out, or if you want to pick up food, I would highly recommend downloading the Hunger Station app and ordering through them. Most of the time, they will give you 10 to 25% your entire order if you choose pick up and order through the app. And if you have any complaints about food, they'll give you a credit for next order. Pro tip for these extras, always have cash on hand. Most of these extras only take cash. Gas and transportation will vary drastically depending on what you use. If you are renting long term, it can cost between 1,800 to 3,000 Saudi riyals a month, which is equivalent to 480 to 800 USD a month. Gas is about 400 to 500 riyals a month, depending on what kind of car you use, which is between 100 and 150 USD a month. If you end up opting for taxis and rideshare services like Careem, budget about 900 to 2,000 riyals a month, which is equivalent to 240 to 530 USD a month. Medina also has bus services that cost about 2.5 riyals, which is a nice affordable option. And if you live close to Masjid al-Nabawi, you are within walking distance to many places and may not need transportation. A pro tip about using taxis, I would avoid using those green taxi companies or any taxis that have like a company. Those usually charge you per minute using a meter. A lot of locals here in Medina offer taxi rides, and they do offer them for pretty cheap. Avoid at any cost using these green taxis. For schooling, if you plan to put your children in online international schools, the tuition is about 160 to 415 USD a month per child, which comes out to 625 to 1,560 Riyals a month. And this is just tuition. So let's talk about healthcare in Madinah, especially as a family with kids, because this is something a lot of people asked us about. First, healthcare costs really depend on your personal situation. If your family is generally healthy and doesn't go to doctor often, your monthly expenses can be super low, sometimes even nothing. But if you or your kids have ongoing health needs like allergies, asthma, or chronic conditions, then yes, your monthly cost will naturally be higher. Another big factor is whether or not you're able to get insurance. Some expats get private insurance through work, or they buy their own insurance plans. And that helps a lot with keeping costs down. Without insurance, you'll be paying full price at private clinics or hospitals. For example, a basic pediatric visit at a private clinic might cost between 100 to 250 Saudi Riyals, depending on the doctor. A healthy family with a few occasional doctor visits for the kids, you might spend around 300 to 600 Saudi Riyals per month out of pocket. But if you have insurance or you're not visiting doctors very often, that number could be much lower. So the cost really comes down to your family's health, how often you go, and whether you have coverage or not. There you have it, guys. When we add everything up, the total cost of living in Medina with a family of 4 will be around 9,400 Riyals to 14,500 Riyals, which is around 2,500 to 3,800 USD per month. Also keep in mind, guys, that this is just a rough estimate. Everyone's situation is different. Factors that can affect how much you'll actually spend here in Medina. And one of those big factors is your visa status. If you're here on a visiting or tourist visa, then your cost of living will be much higher. And that's because you won't have access to government health care, health insurance, or public schools. It means that you will be paying more out of pocket for everything. But yes, you can definitely live here in Medina on a tighter budget, but the numbers that we're presenting here are for an average comfortable lifestyle, not like a luxury lifestyle or a bare minimum lifestyle, but like an average comfortable lifestyle. Here's the thing, guys, wherever you are living in the United States, you might actually be paying more or even the same. High rent and long commutes. You're actually living here minutes away from Masjid al-Nabawi. You're actually living here and soaking in the peace, community, and the barakah comes with living in this blessed city. Let us know in the comments below what the biggest cost of living where you actually live right now. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe and like and share, especially with someone that's dreaming to make hijrah or just wants to know how much it'll cost to be able to live in the blessed city of Medina in 2025. And we are out. Assalamu alaikum.